All right, geometry. We're going to do some problems where we're going to mix ones with intersecting chords, finding the missing segment, and ones with secants and tangents, trying to find the missing segments. Now remember, if it's a chord, it's part times part equals part times part. If it's a secant or a tangent, remember it's woo-woo. The whole segment times the outside equals the whole segment times the outside. All right, so number one is two chords. All right, so I label the diagram. It says in the diagram, you got chords A, B, and C, D that intersect at E. CE is 5, but then it says CD is 13. The whole thing is 13. So to get ED, you got to do 13 minus the 5, which is going to be 8. And then it says AE equals 4. Find the length of BE. All right, so this part times this part, 5 times 8, okay, is going to equal this part times that part, 4 times x. You multiply, 4x equals 40. Divide by 4, we get 10. All right, some of them are that easy. Some of them could be a little more complicated. All right, number 2. Okay, there are some questions here where they do not provide the picture. So they tell us we have a circle. It says you have chord AB. All right, I would just draw a picture similar to that. Here's AB. All right, and then chord CD. Intersect at E. So E is the middle. Then we're going to label AE equals 3 inches. BE is equal to 8. All right. And then they tell you CE is 2 inches longer than DE. So 2 inches longer than DE. We don't know what DE is, so that's X. 2 inches longer is X plus 2. All right, so my picture's not to scale. CE is X plus 2 because it's 2 inches longer. ED is X. All right, remember, this is a chord. Part times part equals part times part. So X times X plus 2 equals 3 times 8. All right, we're going to distribute on the left, X to the second plus 2x. We're going to multiply 3 and 8 on the right. That's 24. We have a quadratic because we have an exponent of 2. So we got to bring the 24 over. All right. Then you're going to factor. If you're not comfortable factoring, plug this into the calculator, into y equals, find the zeros. All right, but if you could factor, you need factors of 24. That subtract the 2. That's going to be 4 and 6. I always bring down the plus, or bring down the sign. If you bring the sign down, the bigger one goes first. They have to subtract, so these have to be different. So this has got to be minus. And then you're going to get x equals negative 6 and x equals 4. You can't get a negative dimension on the segment, so that's out, that's rejected. Our answer is 4. All right, make sure you answer the question. It says, what is the length of DE? Well, DE happens to be x. X is 4, so DE equals 4. If they ask for CE, then you got to plug the 4 in. 4 plus 2 is 6. All right, let me model a couple more questions here. Okay, number 3. This one involves a secant. So this is going to be the whole times the outside equals the whole times the outside. All right, I'm going to label my diagram. It says that PA is 8. PB, the whole thing, is 20. So if the whole thing's 20 and this is 8, this is 20 minus 8. This is 12. All right. Then it tells me PD is 16. The whole thing is 16. All right. They want us to find PC. All right. So remember, the whole times the outside. So if I'm looking at this one, the whole is 8 plus 12. So the whole is 20. Times the outside is 8. Equals the whole. This one, the whole is 16. Times the outside, that's x. All right? So we have a basic one-step equation. You multiply, you get 160 equals 16x. Divide by 16, we're going to get 10. It says, what is PC? PC is 10. All right? Sometimes they could be a little more complicated, like number 2, where you got a quadratic. All right, let's take a look at another one. All right, number 4 is a little different because this time you have a tangent. On number 3, they were both secants. Here you got one secant, one tangent. It says in the diagram, AD is tangent to circle O. All right, blah, 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 blah. It says if AD is 4 and AC, the whole thing, is 8, find AB. All right? So again, this is going to be whole times the outside equals the whole times the outside. All right, but the whole is the same for this one, 4, and the outside is also 4. So this is just 4 to the second, or 4 times 4, equals the whole, which is 8, times the outside, which is x. 4 to the second, 16. 8x equals 16. Divide by 8. We get 2. They wanted us to find AB, which was x. So AB is 2. All right? All right. All right, let's check it out. Let's check out. You know what? I'm going to pause the video so you can practice, and I'm going to model 1 or 2 more for you, but otherwise they're pretty much the same or similar to these. All right, so practice. Talk to you soon.